morning. This is the second lesson of Ekascloud online course training. My name is Peter Benko. Let's get to the presentation. So what we would like to discuss today is what kind of network transmissions are there out there. Then we need to a little bit understand the IP addresses exceptions, then also the port numbers before we do anything else. So about network transmission, there are three types of network transmissions. One is the unicast one, where there is one sender and one receiver, which is the most simplest case. Then there is a broadcast where one sender sends to many receivers, and then there is a multicast one, like many senders sending to many receivers the information, the packet of data through the network. In order to use this or apply this knowledge, we need to first understand the IP address. How do we work out the IP address, whether it is any kind of network. So last time we mentioned that there are classes of the IP addresses, and then based on that we can distinguish between network bits and host bits. So if we look at the first IP address 10.0.0.2, then we know that this is the class A, because the range for the class A is from 0 to 127, right? So that's the class A. That means only the first octet is considered to be a network bit, which is 8-bit, and the rest belong to host bits. Therefore, the subnet masks are going to be 255.0.0.0, and because it's 8-bit, then the slash also 8. The network ID is going to be 10.0.0.0. The first ID will be 10.0.0.1, but the last ID is 10, 255, 255, 254, not 255, because that one is actually reserved for the broadcast IP. It's called like broadcast IP, which is 10, 255, 255, 255. And if we have a class A network, then the number of valid IPs are going to be over 60 million. So over 60 million different IP addresses can be used in that given network. Now let's see the next one. Next one is 130.23.65.32. That one shows me that it's above 127, which is going to be, so the first octet is above 127, which is going to be class B. The network bits going to be the first two numbers, which is 16 byte, and then the last one is 16 byte as well. Subnet mask therefore will be written as 255, 255.0.0, and the slash is also 16. The network ID is 130.23.0.0. First ID is going to be 130.23.0.1. So we see now that we are using the first two octets as a network bits to create a network, and the last ID is going to be 130.23.255.254. Broadcast IP will be changed to 255, the last place. Therefore, the valid IP address is going to be 2.116 minus 2, which is 65534, which can be used in this network. But what about if you have an IP address class C? IP address class C, we're going to have the first 3 octets network bits, and the last one is going to be host bit. The subnet mask is going to be accordingly 255.255.255.0, and the slash is 24, because it's like taking 24 bits at network part. The network ID will be 20.000, first ID is 01, last ID 0254, and the broadcast IP 220.00255, which gives me to have 254 valid IP addresses for the class C network. Well, we need to just mention that basically we have 2 types of networks. One is the private network. We can build our own private network within a house or within an organization, and then we can decide which IP address going to be used. If we're talking about private address, then for the A it's going to be from 1 till 9, 255, 255, 255. For the B, 172.16.00 till 172.30.31, 255, 255. And then for the C, probably this is the most common what we can meet with, usually using for the devices connected to the computer or the network, which is going to be 192.168.0.0, and the IP address is according to that as well. Good thing about private network that we don't need to pay for anything. It's our own. What we done with it, that's how it will be used and protected. As far as the public network concerned, there are some gaps between the numbers, which we need to keep in mind when we are out in public. But this is where we can see the range between IP addresses. This is the public network, and last but not the least, there are port numbers. Those who are programming every day, they know that port numbers are used for the services which needs to be identified by numbers. So that one is, for example, from 1 to 1023 is going to be the server, specially used for servers, and there are the reserved one, only servers. While the client ports have much more options. 10,023 to 65535 is what the client server port is capable of. Now port numbers, if you notice it doesn't start from 0 but it starts from 1. So your homework is going to be, why does it start with 1? Thank you for your attention. Have a great day.